Tonight, after his friend is the victim of a fatal hit and run, MacGyver vows to hunt down the killer and he gets help from his friend's sister. Will Sam and Jeff, but mostly Jeff, be able to recognize the repeat casting in this episode? Find out next on Making Fun of MacGyver. It's Making Fun of MacGyver, a rib-tickling takedown of our favorite 80s adventure show, Heart to Heart. Come on! It's MacGyver, starring Sam Jordan as the skeptic and Jeffrey Hess as the scientist.
Name's MacGyver.
Welcome, everybody, to Making Fun of MacGyver. It's the show where we recap, we review, and we lovingly ridicule every episode so far of the original series, and that series is MacGyver. I'm Sam Jordan, your host, and as usual, I'm joined by my fellow MacGyverite, the fire to my ice, Jeffrey Hess.
Hey, this one's hot, hot, hot.
My Sasquatch scorn stud, I have a question. Are you prepared to reach the pinnacle of preposterous TV casting?
I don't think it's possible for me to be any more pumped about the potentiality of this podcast.
Nice. And that's great, because we're moments away from Making Fun of MacGyver. It's our 68th episode, and we'll be talking about MacGyver Season 1. What? You got hands to head. Is it because
68.
Tell me why you got hands to... Yeah.
68 episodes.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Anything else? Any other reason why you're...
No, I mean, I'm just shocked by it. It doesn't feel like that many.
Okay.
It feels like just yesterday we were only young spring pups in our mid-30s.
But why 68 doing it? See, I thought you were going the other route. I thought you were so excited that we were one show away from another number.
A round number? A round from... Oh, yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
No? Okay.
Nice.
Okay. My fault. You just... All of a sudden, the quantity's hitting you at 68. The number's hitting you at 68. Wow, man.
Yeah.
Can't believe I got 60. That's funny.
It's daylight saving time or not daylight savings time, which I can't remember which way it goes.
Well, it's our 68th episode. We're talking about MacGyver Season 1, Episode 5, Fire and Ice.
Fire and
Ice! Okay.
Is that going to happen every time?
Maybe. But first, it's our opening gambit. Jeff, how you feeling these days?
I feel wonderful. My little baby is like 4 months old now. They get a little more easy to take care of. My 3-year-old is starting to talk, and he has so much to say. But it's great. Had a fun time as Halloween. I went as Waluigi.
Waluigi? Who's that? What's that?
That's, you know how Mario has Wario?
Okay. It's like the evil twin of Luigi?
Luigi has Waluigi. Okay. Yeah, he's tall and lanky. He's got overalls and a purple shirt and a purple hat.
What did the rest of the clan dress up as, if anything?
Well, my son was Mario, my other son was Luigi, and my wife was Princess Peach.
I have not seen pictures of this. I'm surprised.
You can find them on my Facebook page at facebook.com/website.
Did you go door to door with that, or just like around the house, or what?
No, so we have friends who have like a condo and a communal living space where there's like about 24 condos there, and it's all families and stuff, and they all like cook together and have all these, and so that whole strip is just like dozens and dozens of kids. So that's where we went. What
candy did you like wind up eating too much of because, you weren't going to give all that to your kids?
I really love those. Like they look like Tootsie Rolls, but they're fruit flavored. Have you had those? I ate an enormous ton of those, and then I ate all of his Laffy Taffy.
Oof, man, you were just going for everything that pulls out fillings.
Yeah, I know. All right, I've got 2 crowns. Like I should be more. I think about it when I bite that stuff. Did you do any? Did you dress up at all?
No, I didn't dress up, but I went to a family friend's house and I DJ'd for the trick-or-treaters. I set up my whole DJ equipment and was playing music and had the fog machine and all that. So I got into it. It was
How
fun.
many times, over under 10 times you played Thriller?
Oh, I'm not going to play anything more than once. So I just played it once. Just played Thriller once, Monster Mash just once, all that. Yeah, but I played some good songs too. So we hope your Halloween and everything was good out there. I hope you enjoyed our Halloween Mactacular. We're still recovering from that Mactail. And the Ghost Ship episode with Gary last time was really fun. That was a spooky episode, the scariest ever, maybe, in MacGyver history. And Gary did a great job. So, yeah, hey, if you would like to do what Gary just did, where you sit down with us, you break bread, you have a drink or whatever, and we talk about MacGyver for an hour. It actually takes 2 hours to tape, by the way. We would like you to do that. And you'll get monthly bonus episodes, all kinds of fun stuff. How you ask, the answer, Patreon. Patreon.com/makingfunofmacgyver. Let me tell you about it, because it's been a while. If you enjoy the show, this is your way of like putting a little something in the tip jar to help us pay for show hosting, ads we occasionally take out, and more importantly, like to boost the morale. So we bring those A games, and it keeps us eternally grateful. But you also get perks. It's not just that. You get 3 tiers to choose from, and they all come with perks. Paperclip, that's $5 a month. It gets you a shout out at the end of each episode. We say your name. Not only do we say your name, which some other podcasts do, but we also like give a quick plug to anything you want us to plug. So if you've got a podcast, if you've got a business, whatever, we can help you reach tens and tens of listeners, with a little promotion at the end of each of our episode. What else? The duct tape tier. The duct tape tier, that's $10 a month. You get everything in the paperclip tier, as well as a bonus episode each month where we talk behind the scenes stuff about MacGyver, music, movies, comedy, love lives, kids, whatever, and we send that episode to you. And then if you really want to live like Mac and take it to the Swiss Army knife level, you get all those aforementioned perks, plus you get to guest host with us once per MacGyver season, and you get to join us for our monthly video hangout sessions where we video chat for like an hour, shoot the breeze, and just have a good time. So 3 tiers. It's all available at patreon.com/makingfunofmacgyver. Check it out for details. And you know what? If that doesn't sound great, if you get around to it, give us a review on like Apple Podcasts or Spotify or something like that. If you throw up 5 stars, it really helps us promote the show. It gets a few more listeners, and we would be eternally grateful if you just did something like that too. And otherwise, just keep listening. I mean, that's all. That's all we ask. Yeah. Let's tear into that viewer mailbag. So sometimes we post on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, and it gets nothing. It just gets a blip, and it's a ghost ship in the night, and nobody hears it or sees it, and figure out why. And then sometimes I post something that's like, okay, fine, let me just do this, and it gets a little bit of traction. Now, you had a birthday just a few days ago, and I put up there a picture. It says happy birthday on Facebook, and I think on YouTube too, on Twitter, maybe just Facebook. But it says happy birthday to this guy. You may not recognize him. Seen here as Penny Parker, but it's Jeff. And it's a picture from you from the Halloween Spectacular in your best Terry Hatcher as Penny Parker garb, red hat, full-on black female woman wig, and a blouse from your wife, right? Like,
Yep.
You just look ridiculous.
No, I look hot.
And
Certified hottie. It says so in the comments.
And let's see. Yeah, well, you wrote that comment.
Oh, well,
you
I mean,
actually wrote
well,
that
if you're going to be
comment.
specific about it. It is in the comments.
Yeah. So we got 14. It got 14 likes, which for us is pretty decent.
Yeah.
14 likes. It got a comment, multiple comments, multiple people. I'm sorry, 14 likes and like 8 or 9 or 10 or 12 comments. Everyone wishing you a happy birthday. Pat,
Yeah.
Gary, Jen, Simon, Christian, all our friends. So what? I mean, like, I don't know.
It feels good.
I guess happy birthday,
Yeah.
but
I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Bring it on. You can wish me happy birthday on days it's not my birthday.
how did you celebrate?
How did I celebrate? What day was it? Oh, my wife wanted to know.
election day.
It was. I don't want to talk about it. This is not a politics podcast, but it went well for my side. I got money, so I got a new workout bench. I've always wanted a particular kind of sex pillow, so my wife got us that. That'll be nice. 4
Gee,
months.
that's neat.
Gee, that's neat. Yeah, you should try one. Sex. I mean, a woman.
Wow. Okay. And I love that we are an unpredictable show, because you're going to say that, and you know what? we're not even going to turn it into a thing. We're just going to move on. Facebook listeners, I'm sorry you somehow contributed to this whole decadence, this debauchery, by wishing Jeff a happy birthday. Little did you know. But yeah, so please follow us on social media, especially, you know what, the YouTube channel continues to grow. We haven't posted much in the last week or two, but this is really some good stuff there. So check us out on YouTube at Making Fun of MacGyver. And yeah, we'd appreciate it.
And I really do think I'm going to start streaming my episode watches on the YouTube channel. So maybe be on the lookout for that, y'all. You can come in and then you can get in the chat and yell at me. Jeff,
let me take you back now to Monday, October 26th, 1987. Now, see that harp there? That's meant to take you back in time, at least emotionally, if not physically. But the number one movie in the country for the sixth week in a row. What do you think the number one movie in the country is again, now that I said the sixth week in a row?
Crocodile Dundee.
Oof. PTSD, huh? With Crocodile Dundee from last year? No, it's Fatal Attraction. It's Fatal Attraction, which I don't think has reached Crocodile Dundee.
Another movie where she was like, "This is a knife." Yeah.
Nice. There you go. And I don't think you've sworn. I've kind of asked you to watch that movie before it ends its run as the number one movie.
Well, not to talk about my wife too much this episode, but I keep suggesting it, and she keeps telling me that we'll watch it later, and it's starting to make me suspicious.
Okay. Now I definitely want you guys to watch it soon. Okay. Definitely you should do that. I think you'll both enjoy it. The number
Will the sex pillow be involved after watching it or no?
I think you'll have some thoughts on it. I really do.
Okay.
The number one song in the country is Bad by Michael Jackson. Released by Epic Records on September 7, 1987 as the second single from his seventh studio album called Bad. It was written and composed by Michael Jackson, produced by Quincy Jones. MJ stated that the song was influenced by a real-life story he had read about of a young man who tried to escape poverty by attending private school but ended up being killed when he returned home. That's why I didn't go to private school. That's why I stayed out.
How does he... I don't get how this is the story of that.
Well, if you've seen the video, it kind of explains it a little bit. Actually, so there was a short film for the premiere of the video. It premiered in a TV special called Michael Jackson, The Magic Returns on CBS during prime time, August 31st, 1987. It was directed, this 15-minute film, much like Thriller, it was directed, this one was directed by Martin Scorsese and co-starred Wesley Snipes in one of his first appearances. Yeah. You got to check out the video. You got to check out the video to Bad.
That sounds made up.
The 15-minute version.
I'm gonna.
Oh, you need to watch this. It'll give you some bad chills.
Yeah.
And then after that, watch Weird Al's Fat.
Off the album of the same name, right? This is from the album Bad, right?
Right. And then make sure you watch Weird Al's Fat, which is a to the T spoof of it.
I am a white nerd. I have obviously watched that.
Okay. So enough talking about that song, though, because it'll be my turn to sing it next time. But it's your turn to sing this. And how you feeling?
I feel bad.
You look bad.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that. This is the actual video. Your butt is mine. Gonna tell you right. Just show your face in the broad daylight. I'm telling you who I feel. Gonna hurt your mind. Don't shoot to kill. Come on. Lay it on me. Right. I'm giving you to the count of 3. Just show your stuff and let it be. I'm telling you, better watch your mouth. I know your game, what you're about. Well, they say the sky's the limit, and for me it must be true. But my friend, you ain't seen nothing, cause I'm bad, I know it. I'm bad, shame on. No, I'm bad, you know it. And the whole world has to answer right now just to tell you once again who's bad. Hey! I sung this like 20 times before I still bungled the lyrics. But my friend,
at least it's like no real singing right to the chorus, right? He's pretty much just like whispering it, semi-rapping, right?
Yeah, and I still brought it down an octave because I'm not going to attempt it.
That really was bad. And it was also Bad by Michael Jackson. All right, so you know what? I think we're ready. It's Monday. It's October 26, 1987. And at 8 o'clock that night on ABC, it's MacGyver Season 3. We're in Episode 5, Fire and Ice. And now I hand over the reins of the show to the next level of MacGyver narrators, the gentleman, Jeffrey Hess.
So we open, as we do, like 2/3 of Mac episodes with Mac tooling around in his Jeep.
A man once said, when you make a friend, you take on a responsibility. And I guess that describes my friend, Danny Barrett. When he invited me to lunch, I should have known there'd be strings attached.
Excuse me, guys. Sorry.
Sure, go ahead.
MacGyver, you're just in time.
Time for what? You said lunch.
No, later, okay? You know what's going on in here? The jewelry safe cracked like an egg. Another few million in precious stones are gone. They're out of here. Goodbye, you know? Same MO as the heist in Dallas, New Orleans, Chicago. And guess who's getting hit in the pocketbook? My good client, Pacific Metropolitan.
Now, with all due respect to our loyal listener, Claire Fisher, the most dangerous place to be in the world is not Mac's girlfriend. It is one of Mac's male friends. Because these dudes get off with frightening regularity. And that is basically more or less what's coming to this guy. So this guy, Danny, tells Mac that he has determined that a renowned jewel thief is likely a diplomat, a cultural attaché from the Ganubians who's been traveling around stealing all these things, stealing all of these diamonds and stuff.
I'm already confused, by the way. I'm already confused. Not only, in the past when I was watching the show, but just by you saying it right here, I'm already confused again for the second time. Ganubians? Right. What are we?
Right.
Attaché?
So,
okay.
Ganubia, I guess, is not a real place. I haven't looked, but I think it's not a real place.
Okay.
But anyway, Danny immediately gets hit by a car. So he tells Mac he thinks he's figured out who's stealing the diamonds, and somebody comes and runs Danny down. Danny gets run over in perhaps the most hilarious getting run over scene to have ever existed, dies without bleeding, and then is dead. And so Mac tells
He did have a little
Pete,
blood on the face. He had a little blood on the face.
Tasteful blood. It was very...
But you know what he didn't have time for? Unfortunately, he didn't have time to quote Shakespeare, which normally it's what you want to do as you're on your deathbed.
"'Tis not as wide as a church door, nor deep as a well, but 'twill do." Mm-hmm. So Mac tells Pete what happened here, that this guy is tracking who stole the diamonds and that it's probably a diplomat. And Pete is like, "Mac, don't do it, buddy. Let it go."
Help me on this, Pete. Well, I can't say no, can I? Where do we start?
We need the name of the Ganubian cultural attaché.
His name is Amir Sumal. He has quite a reputation for his brutal way of doing things, both in politics and his personal life. A dangerous man. He's hosting a big reception for the city's wealthiest art patrons at the consulate, but access is a tough nut to crack. Nobody gets in without an invitation.
Step inside. Invitation, please.
And wouldn't you know it, a Porsche pulls up and a beautiful woman steps out, and she manages to steal one of those invitations and work her way inside of that party that's going on at the Ganubian cultural attaché's house. So the Ganubian cultural attaché is a diamond thief, and this woman appears as she sneaks into the building. Mac is out in the bushes where he usually is hiding, and he needs to get in the building too, but he does not have a ticket. So Pete told him the computer that the information Mac needs is on the second floor. So Mac does his first MacGyvering of the episode and finds a garden hose and a rake and rigs together a grappling hook. So
Does it MacGyver?
So Mac pops out of the bushes. He needs to get to the second floor to access a computer with information about the stolen diamonds. So he creates a grappling hook. And let's say the average garden hose is 5/8 of an inch. The average garden hose is 5/8 of an inch. And I looked for rake heads, and like the most common size I found was about 22 millimeters. So let's also say that that's
7/8 of an inch.
So it would be a little bigger than the hose.
Okay.
But let's say it
fits.
Rakes are usually made out of steel or iron, which are both very strong metals. For example, steel can handle 40 pounds, 40,000 pounds of force per square inch and tensile strength before it tears, well out of Mac's big fat ass range. So assuming he can nail the throw, this 100% MacGyver's. This is a pretty clever little trick that he does to climb up to the top shelf. He climbs while downstairs the lady who we don't know yet does a little quick change, becomes a maid, and becomes upstairs. While he's hacking, she slips in, he hides behind a curtain, and then she starts to hack, and he jumps up behind her and tells her, "I'm on your side," and she hits him with a gun. And then the door opens, and a guard comes in, and they start making out, but it doesn't work, so she kicks the guard's ass. And then Mac puts the computer on the old school internet, and then they climb out of the building, and she leaves in a big-ass station wagon, leaving her Ferrari behind, and Mac takes the Ferrari.
We got a big situation on our hands. I wanted to make sure that you weren't just grazing over it in the beginning, but no, you weren't. You do in fact have one of the largest blind spots, a blind spot bigger than Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder put together, because you apparently have you've quadruple-upped what your previous transgressions along this front, but you apparently do not recognize Alyssa Davalos, who is playing Nikki Carpenter here, and just 3 episodes ago, she was the Russian spy Lisa.
No, she's not.
This is the same woman who was just Lisa.
Is it really?
3 episodes ago in the 2-part season opener.
Wow.
Playing a brand new person, not a Russian, an American, and a new character that will be on multiple episodes, Nikki Carpenter. And you're not recognizing her as Lisa from 3 episodes ago.
This is a recurring character?
She's going to be a new recurring character, but she was Lisa, the Russian, right, who triple-crossed Mac, right, and then gets shot in the back and dead. Just 3 episodes ago.
That's funny, because I spent the whole episode thinking about how pretty she was.
But now she's Nikki Carpenter.
I don't know how many times I have to tell you. It's like impossible.
I can't believe you don't recognize this as the same person we just saw weeks ago. This is amazing. You are the bumpkins that ABC was knowing it could fool back in 1987. Yeah, they won't recognize this woman. She was just on a month ago.
Yeah, and there's like an equivalent amount of time has passed in our time now, and I didn't even catch it. Wow. Okay. Well,
and this is why I stopped the song a month ago. Are you sorry, Fiona Jackson? Are you sorry, Miss Jackson, for that casting, right, in the season opener? But I stopped it because I didn't want to mention this. I said, you know what? I'm going to continue the song next time. But you didn't even pick up on. Her name is Alyssa Davalos, born in 1957, New York City. Known for MacGyver, Diagnosis, Murder. Last thing she did was 2013. But from working from the 70s through the 90s, character actress, Matlock, Life Goes On, Father Dowling, Mysteries, Doogie Howser, but all just small parts. But oh my God, Lisa, a Russian, in a 2-parter, huge part. Mac loved her. She gets shot running there, right?
They were going to get married.
But 3 episodes later, her name is Nikki Carpenter, and she will be in like 7 more episodes as Nikki Carpenter.
Damn, that's a lot. Is that more than Jack?
Yeah. Maybe not more than Jack, but I just can't believe they would do that kind of casting. So I had to call it out. I had to talk about it.
Did Fiona Jackson also cast this episode?
Yes.
Oh yeah, maybe she just only has like 5 names in her Rolodex.
Well, I'm gonna have to finish that song at the end of the show, so it's been sticking in my craw. So I won't get into it now. But
now I'm waiting for James Hong to show up.
I don't think he's in this one.
Yeah. So she is apparently trying to track down the cultural attaché too, as MacGyver is, and we're about to find this out. MacGyver tracks her somehow. She steals the station wagon, and MacGyver follows her in the Ferrari to an office building, where she's not surprised to see him at all, and reveals that, like Mac's friend Danny, she too is an investigator.
Well, isn't this interesting how we run into each other twice in one day? Let me guess, you're an insurance investigator.
What else?
Danny sure could pick 'em.
I'll take that as a compliment. I thought you might have modemed that from the consulate.
Yeah, but it's all scrambled.
I know that this is a multi-syllabic binary code and that the Ganubians use it all the time. Fact is, I have a decoding programmer disk in my car.
Why don't you get it and we can unscramble this mess together?
I believe you have my keys.
So, I want to point out something real quick here before we move on. The way that interaction goes, this is going to be important later for a question I want to ask. He goes, "You must be an insurance investigator." And she doesn't say yes, nor did she volunteer that she was. She says, "What else would I be?" So she doesn't tell him this is what I am. He assumes it, and she just doesn't tell him no.
Right, and me over here with MacGyver writer Stockholm Syndrome, I'm still thinking to give this a chance. You know what? Even though I've seen this series in its entirety, I'm still thinking, okay, maybe there's a way this is still Lisa, the Russian from, but no, it's not.
Yeah. Also, this is not a Doesn't MacGyver, but multi-syllabic binary code is not a thing. Because multi means multiple, binary means 2. So you can't do both. But I did look up multisyllabic binary code in Google, and the only thing that comes up is a person with a one-like tweet, like quoting that from the episode with a smiley face, which I thought was fun. Good on that guy.
Quoting this episode?
Yeah, it says it's multisyllabic binary code. It's what the Ganubians use.
Okay.
And so she sends Mac down to get the code to hack to read what they're trying to read, but it's a trap. She has called in that her Ferrari got arrested, and she called the police, and she sends Mac down there, and Mac gets his ass arrested, and that is the end of Axminster 1.
You can't bring back an actress who I just saw.
Apparently you can.
A month ago. In September, you're watching Lost Love, Part 1 and 2, and late October, you're watching Fire and Ice. And you can't do that to me. So that is a deduction of 3 points off my 1 to 10. Yeah, that's what I'm going. I'm going 3.
Are you going to be a negative?
And I'm
already
already
in negative mullet territory.
No. But I'm already confused, and I don't find it to be like high stakes or fun or whatever.
Right.
So anyway.
So Axminster 2 starts, and we're back at the boathouse, Mac's boathouse, and he's working on the code, trying to crack the code when Nikki.
No, it's Nikki.
Nikki.
And let me just say, I like the boathouse. Anytime there's an exterior shot of the boathouse and then you go inside, it does a little something warm for me. I don't. Do you feel that? Yeah, maybe not yet, right? Because this is still new to you. But I just like him at the boathouse. I like the setting in there, the rustic feel. It just gives me good vibes when he's there.
So far, I like the Venice Beach apartment better. That was really cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's
okay,
right across from the
I like
beach.
them both.
Nice interior, warehouse-style interior. Very cool. So she says she's sorry that she sets the police on him and that she wants to apologize. He tells her that she's going to have to do more than apologize, which I thought was, a setup for something that Mac doesn't do anymore. But that's when she drops another bomb on him and claims that Danny was her brother and that she wants revenge, and Mac does too. So now these two people are of like mind and they're on the same track together. We cut to the Phoenix, where Mac is explaining to Pete that the diamonds he believes are still at the Ganubian Cultural Attache's house. And he's trying to think of getting in a way to the house and stealing the Ganubian Cultural Attache's keys to find the diamonds when it comes up that the Ganubian Cultural Attache loves to play squash and that he loves women. So they are now putting the pieces together. They need a female bait to get his attention. Mac plays the squash, and there's a plan that is now being put into place between Mac, Nikki, and Pete.
Instead of all that, I think they should have just done the Philadelphia Flash, maybe, right? Or the Sacramento.
What was it, the Sacramento Switch?
Sacramento Switch, or the Honolulu Voodoo Hulu.
The Honolulu. I mean, or you could just I don't know, just send the American police there.
And I was stunned to hear the word squash as a sport. Like, it has been decades since I've even heard anyone reference the sport squash. I wonder if it still exists. It may have gone extinct.
Would you switch from pickleball to squash if given the opportunity?
I feel like pickleball is already more popular than squash ever was because I lived through both eras.
Do you wear ridiculous glasses when you play pickleball?
No, I don't.
Do those sports specs, the rec specs?
I could use them probably, but it's an outdoor thing generally. I play outdoors,
So I don't know what the deal with diplomatic immunity is, but in the 80s, it was like the hot thing. Like every evil villain had diplomatic immunity. And so I wanted to look this up a little bit. Apparently, it is it's kind of a misnomer that you're entirely immune from law and you just do whatever you want. Your foreign nation can render you persona non grata and strip it from you. Your home country might prosecute you for whatever crime you committed while you were there, say like spying or stealing diamonds. So diplomatic immunity isn't like this Lethal Weapon 2 thing where like you can just kill people and not even have to worry about it. But there's a lot of concern about the Ganubian Cultural Attache's diplomatic immunity. And to get around this, they find him at a fancy restaurant where Nikki bribes the maitre d' and manages to get a seat at Amir's table. And while using a fake name that is associated with some very fancy diamonds, she tricks him into joining her at this diamond sale that they're going to have. So it's like she's giving him a hot tip, something he can't resist. Like, here's these really special diamonds that I'm going to sell, and I'm going to take you to the place where they're going to be stored until we sell them. And he, of course, can't resist.
He fell for this a little too easy. You know, like he didn't suspect a thing till way late in the game for someone who so is worldly, right?
Right. And this, you would think if the kind of woman they're implying that she's play acting as would be like in his sphere of people, you would think he would know her from a family that owns like these unbelievably precious diamonds.
Right.
But he does fall for it. I think because Lisa's very attractive. And as they leave, we get the evil guy.
Nikki, not Lisa. Lisa's dead.
Oh,
this is Nikki.
Right. And so as we leave, we get the traditional evil guy music as a new sandwich goon drops. We have a brand new sandwich goon on the scene. And he's eavesdropping. He looks like they wanted to hire Jack, but Jack was busy, so they got like someone who looks like what was the name of that comedian that just died?
Louis Anderson?
Yes, Louis Anderson with the bad teeth and the weird face.
Oh my God. This guy is he just looks like the word wet. Like he's just like floppy.
Yes, he does. He's like dripping.
He's like, he's dripping and he's eating and his lips, I don't know. I mean, no offense to this guy, but gosh, I don't know if they made him up to look worse and whatever, but yeah, as soon as he's eating something there, I'm like, okay, you know what? I wonder if they're going to have him keep eating, and they did not disappoint every time they cut to him.
So in case you weren't confused enough, they have introduced another new character who you are implied to be a bad guy because he gets bad guy music. So they cut to the diamond exchange where diamonds are bought and sold, and lo and behold, it's not the real diamond people. It is Pete and all of his Phoenix crew play acting as the diamond people. And so Pete is pretending like he is, like this gemstone dealer, and they go to see where the vault is kept. And so this guy is getting just an eyeful of all of these diamonds, just like row after row of diamonds, huge safe. And he's like, his eyes are falling out of his head. And it's too much for this guy to resist. So Pete sends them on their way, and Mac is like, now is my time to strike. And he challenges Amir to squash.
Which is what you do, naturally.
Yeah, he's going to get squashed. So they cut to the diamond exchange where Pete and the Phoenix crew are play acting as the people who would run the exchange. So this is not the real people, it's Pete. And Pete is like looking at the stones from Nikki and oohing and awing over them. And he's also presenting in glorious detail every step of this giant diamond safe and just all of the diamonds that are in it while he talks about the security behind the diamonds.
No noticeable flaws, and approximately 10.3 carats. The 9th sister of 12. Now we'll just deposit this in the vault, and we'll wire a check to your bank. This is unbreakable glass, of course. And it means that our secure viewing room and the vault are visible at all times. Simpson? Our ultimate security precaution.
Who knew the Phoenix Foundation had like a cast of, dozens ready to play act as diamond experts? That's cool.
And they do pretty well because Amir seems tricked, but he's also super thirsty for these diamonds because they Nikki says, can we go in the vault? And Pete's like, of course you can. And there are just row upon row upon row of diamonds in a case. And the guy, Amir, cannot even believe it. His eyes are falling out of his head. He looks like a Looney Tunes wolf where he sees an attractive woman and his tongue rolls out across the floor. It's bad. Amir wants these diamonds extra bad. And Mac realizes this is the time to strike. Amir's defenses are down. I'm going to challenge him to squash.
I think we got a good price, Nikki. Should have my share transferred to the Melbourne account. I'll be at a tournament down there.
Squash?
I told you it's his obsession.
Distraction, my dear. Merely a distraction. Do you play, Mr. Samal?
In fact, I just invited your sister to lunch at my club.
Oh, how nice. How about if I invite myself along? Maybe have a couple of games before lunch.
Claude.
I'll even buy, now that we have cash.
Amir, do you mind?
Delighted, my dear. Shall we?
And we get one more shot of the new Sandwich Goon 2, Electric Sandwich Goon, and that is the end of Axminster 2.
Yep. I appreciate the Sandwich Goon. The Sandwich Goon version 2.0 probably gives this episode an extra full point for me, but as you'll see, it's not going to be enough. Yeah, it's a good spot to take a break here. We got 2 Axminsters down, couple more to go probably. Let's go for a time capsule commercial and see what they were advertising back in 1987.
We built a feeling.
Nothing feels better than A&P's unadvertised specials, especially on top of our already low prices. You'll discover hundreds of them.
We built a feeling.
Every week, in every aisle, in every A&P. This week's unadvertised specials? Sure, we could show you.
A proud new feeling.
But then they wouldn't be unadvertised.
We built a proud new feeling at A&P.
I don't even know what an A&P is. What's
I don't
an
know what it
A&P?
stands for, but it was one of the more popular supermarket chains in the Northeast, definitely in the New York area. I don't know if they're still around, but yeah. And that commercial was just, again, very 80s, right? Like silhouette
Oh my God.
shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they went officially out of business in 2015.
Rest in R.I.P. A&P.
At their peak, they had 15,709 locations.
Oh my God.
They operated from 1859.
Oh,
And
that hurts.
It stood for the Great Atlantic and Pacific Tea Company.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry to see them go.
Are we ready for Axminster 3?
Hold on, let me check my pulse. It's barely there. It's barely there.
It's still flat.
Really flat.
It's still flat.
Is it going to get good? I mean, is something exciting going to happen here? Or, I mean...
Well, I can tell you what is not flaccid about this episode. Me watching Nikki.
Okay, fine.
I've developed a crush on this woman.
You just got to get the name straight. You know, you'll be probably calling her Lisa a year from now.
So to start Axminster 3, we're still at the squash club where Mac has threatened to squash Amir. And he comes out and tells Lisa that he wasn't able to get the key to, I guess, the vault. I'm not clear why they need the key. I'm not clear what the key is to, but they need a key. And so he tells her she has to go into the men's locker room and get it. So she does, and there's a man in there singing and washing his hair for gotta be 5 minutes. Just... Have you ever scrubbed your hair as long as this guy is just scrubbing, and he's just going to town scrubbing his head?
I haven't seen that much pointless scrubbing and scratching since you and Sasquatch hooked up a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that's right. Hairy arms reaching through the window.
But there's also no payoff to this guy. I can't believe he doesn't have a. Oh, you're a woman, wasn't that strange? Right?
No, that's the joke.
Okay.
The joke is, so she needs the soap. She's waiting and waiting. So she picks the lock on Amir's locker. She sees 20 keys and somehow knows which one it is. So she then waits for him to get the bar of soap so she can make an impression of the key. And he's showering and she walks over to him and says, "Hey, can I have the soap?" in a clearly female voice. And he just goes, "Yeah, here you go." And does these unfazed.
The joke?
That's the joke.
But then there should still be the 2 seconds later. What? You know, I mean, that classic thing, right?
And if it were really 80s, he would do a slow motion pratfall.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
So she gets the key, makes an impression in the soap, and Mac wins his game of squash. Back at the house, Mac makes a copy of the key, and they work on their plan to sneak back into the Ganubian cultural attache's house and use the key to find evidence that he is the one who is, in fact, stealing the diamonds. So Max says it involves her Rolls Royce, and you see the Rolls Royce pulling up to the house, and it parks, and of course she's already been invited. Amir said he invited her earlier, and Mac pops out of the trunk where he's been hiding. He sneaks in with a box through the employee entrance, because this is still a trick that works, climbs into the dumbwaiter, goes to the second floor, and is able to sneak into the room where he needs to get the information about the diamonds that the Ganubian cultural attaché has allegedly been stealing.
When he said dumb waiter, did you immediately know what he was talking about? Because anytime I hear that phrase, that and Lazy Susan, it takes me a good 10 seconds to even remember what the hell that means.
Yeah. Dumb waiter, not the first time. I was like, the what? And the second time I knew what you meant. But so while Mac is doing that, Nikki is sweet-talking Amir. And for some reason, they're looking at the pictures on the wall, these very nice paintings that Amir has, and Nikki reaches up and steals one.
The cojones on this chick.
I know. Like, she just rips a painting off the wall and puts it right in her bag. And it's very unusual.
You're so sure he's going to be looking outside for that time that you're going to take this painting off and put it... Okay, whatever.
Did this strike you as strange at all? Or is your radar starting to ping on Dear Nikki yet?
Honestly, I'm not always the best at following like complicated movies or even TV shows. And at this point, I'm getting kind of lost. Like, I don't know why she's taking the painting. And I feel like I'm almost waving the white flag. Like, okay, I'm just going to watch, but I kind of don't know what's happening anymore. Just wake me up when there's a chase or something.
Well, you're not going to get that either, because
Really?
there's not that. No, there are no chases coming. But while she's stealing the painting and sweet-talking Amir very successfully, Mac is in the Ganubian Cultural Attaché's office, and he finds a safe. Fortunately for Mac, it's got an electronic lock on it that only requires 3 button pushes. So there's 6 buttons, and you have to push 3 of them each one time. And Mac's like, well, there would be a bunch of combinations unless I have a hack around getting to see which buttons he has been pushing previously. So we have our second MacGyvering.
Does it MacGyver?
In this case, Mac uses his Swiss Army knife to shave the black parts off of a pencil into like a little pile, and he blows it on the pad, and that shows up where the fingerprints are. So the first part of that is the fingerprinting dust. Actually, originally, was made of graphite, which is the same thing that's in pencil lead. So this 100% MacGyver's. He's literally creating fingerprinting dust right there on the site. Now, I was a little annoyed at first because he said, there were only 6 combinations of numbers out of the 3, which I thought wasn't right. I thought there would be 27. But he does say...
1 times 2 times 3? No. Wait, there's 3 buttons?
Well, he says you can only push each button once, so the numbers don't repeat in that number of 3. So it is only 6. But if you could repeat the numbers in that 3, so let's say there's 1 through 6,
right.
You'd have 111, 112, 121, blah, 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 blah. But since you can only push them once, there's only 6 possible combinations, which seems like a dog shit safe. You have thousands or tens of thousands of dollars in this enormous safe that has a 3-button combination. Doesn't make sense to me. Inside of the safe are the diamonds. This is the key that Mac has been looking for. So he takes the diamonds out, rolls up a piece of paper, slips them in his little bag, and he takes off, climbs back in the Rolls Royce right as Nikki is kissing Amir goodbye, and they take off together. And they think they have made off like bandits. But oh no, 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 no. Sandwich Goon Part 2 has something to say about that. This guy had been tailing Nikki and Mac, and Nikki points it out to Amir. So Amir's goons go out and get the guy, and they bring him into the house. And they say, hey man, what are you doing here? Why are you following us around? We know that you're this and that. And Amir's starting to threaten him. And the guy says, you got it all wrong, baby. I'm a PI. You're being set up by an international thief.
It's my guess you're being set up for a hit.
I don't believe this.
She greased the maitre d' at the cafe? Well, that's classic. Got under your skin to get herself inside the consulate? What did she do while she was here?
Well, we talked and we looked at the art collection.
Oh, she's an expert in anything worth money. Art, jewelry, rare coins. Oh, the lady's got a lot of interests.
You are in greater peril than you think.
One of the Degas is missing.
Bingo.
Okay.
It's really weird, wasn't it? Like,
what do you think is happening at this point?
I don't know. I just don't know why they made the guy a sandwich goon, a slobbering tubbo. Hate to use such a phrase, but and an accent. He's talking like in his big grandiose kind of way. Like, this is very distracting, and then it's going to turn into something we don't expect, right? But I don't know what's happening at this point on this show or on that one either.
So when this all goes down, what I think is happening is that the actual diamond thief is Nikki.
No.
Yes.
No, I never thought that.
Yes, that's what I think. So as soon as this PI says all this stuff, I'm like, okay, I finally figured it out. This Nikki is the thief, and she is like trailing or doing whatever to the Ganubian cultural attaché, and like hiding her tracks by, you know, like being in his shadow and making everyone think it's him.
You were just ready to see Alyssa Davalos anytime on screen. You were just assuming she's triple crossing or quadruple crossing somebody.
I mean, she hasn't proven me wrong yet.
Like, why do I get the double crossing vibe from this woman? What could it be?
Yeah, it seems so familiar. And that is the end of Axminster 3. We resume Axminster 4 at the houseboat, and Nikki walks in while Mac is there and says, "We got a problem," and the problem is Amir, who is now there. And at this point, I'm certain that she's the diamond thief because I think she's double crossed Mac again for the 5th time, 10th crossing. And Amir threatens the both of them and starts to look around and realizes they've got very detailed plans on breaking into the diamond exchange to steal all the diamonds that Amir was previously lusting after. Once again, this is an opportunity that Amir simply cannot pass up. His greed is far too vast, his sense of entitlement far too significant. He thinks there's nothing that can stop him, and he's telling him, all right, you guys got this plan? Let's go do it. Let's go steal all these diamonds. What are we waiting for? So he threatens them, and they agree to come help him because he was going to kill him. And they go to the diamond exchange, and Nikki play acts like she's hurt to distract the first guard out front. And then she shoots his ass out of nowhere, just like plasters this guy. And Amir, Nikki, Mac all sneak into the diamond exchange carrying like an entire warehouse full of equipment, 2 huge tanks and all this other kind of stuff. And they break into the safe, into the big invincible safe. Mac uses one of those old school, like, he hacks the electronic keypad. They use this tank and everything, the acetylene torch, to cut through the safe, and then they creep in, and sure enough, rows and rows and rows of diamonds are there, just like they thought they would be. And they start scooping them up. They put them in a bag, and then Amir, being Amir, pulls a gun and says, "Oh, now I'm taking all your diamonds, and instead of shooting you, I'm going to gas poison you to death with the gas from the tank that's also in the room." I don't know.
Where was that from?
That's what they used to cut into the tank. That's what they used to cut into the safe.
Oh, gotcha.
Right.
So Amir was confident. He was ready to go with that murder technique.
Now, it makes a bit of sense because, like, Amir's overconfidence is, like, his trademark, is that he's got nothing to fear. But also, like, you just shoot them. Just shoot them.
Yeah.
And so that is all that's in Axminster 4. They steal
shoot me.
Yeah, at this point. I'm looking at the timer. I'm going, there's like 3 minutes left in this episode. So the diamonds are stolen, and that's the end of Axminster 4. So Axminster 5 begins, and they're still locked in the safe, but Mac easily diffuses the situation. He's very easily turns off the gas, and they just walk out of the safe. It's very anticlimactic. But the important thing is happening back at the consulate for the Ganubian Cultural Attaché, where Pete and someone who I assume is the Ganubian Cultural Attaché's boss, because you haven't seen this asshole before, he just shows up out of nowhere, they stop him on his way into the building. And Amir has the suitcase with all of the diamonds in it. And Pete is telling the other guy, you got to search this man. He has stolen these diamonds. I know that it's a fact. And the other guy is saying, "Brody, ain't nothing I can do, man. He got diplomatic immunity."
Mr. Ambassador, I'm telling you, this man is a thief. That case is full of stolen diamonds. Search him.
Enough! Your Excellency, you cannot permit this. I have diplomatic immunity.
Truly, there can be no search.
Gentlemen, I have business to attend to. Will you excuse me, please?
This one's for Danny.
Arrest him!
I do like working with you people.
You can't prosecute me. You can't even hold me.
Security!
Your Excellency! What does this mean, Your Excellency? Justice! American justice! I feel I claim American justice!
So the voice you heard there that says, "I love working with you people," was Sandwich Goon, too.
Sandwich Goon.
So I guess...
Did he have something else in his mouth at that point? They should have.
Yeah, right. Maybe one of those diamonds that just got spilled everywhere. I assume they were fakes. I don't know. This episode makes so little sense. I guess Sandwich Goon was always a plant. Was he always working with them?
Yes.
So from the beginning.
That's so weird.
From the very first time you see him, he's part of a plan.
Constantly surveilling, doing fake surveillance constantly to just hope the bad guys notice him.
Right. To follow up on a plan that they don't even have developed yet.
There's only two people who could have made this episode less confusing. You know their names?
I'm going to guess one is Stubbins.
Yes.
And the other is...
Marla.
Oh,
and you
God,
forgot.
Obviously.
You forgot.
Jeez, obviously.
Good thing I didn't leave it to you. We would have missed it this time.
But we would have. I didn't even think about it. Thank you for picking that up. So obviously Mac had rigged the attaché case the Ganubian cultural attaché was carrying into the Ganubian cultural attaché's consulate. That's why the case opens and the diamonds spill everywhere. Never mind that this could be thousands of dollars of diamonds that have fallen onto the ground. Pete, Mac, and Nikki and Sandwich Goon, who I don't think ever gets a name, all share a look, and they feel very satisfied that they have captured the international diamond thief. We think, assuming it's not Nikki, who I think Nikki is the real thief.
Yeah. Well, good to know you've got the hots for Nikki because she will be around, like I said, for multiple episodes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
But we've recapped and ridiculed this one. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10 mullets, it's time to review.
Name's MacGyver.
You've tipped your hand as to what you think, so why don't I go first?
Yeah.
So, okay. I watched it, and I watched it again, and then I watched it again, and now I've recapped it, and I still don't know what's happening in this episode. I find it profoundly confusing. It's not clear who's betraying who, or if the Ganubian cultural attaché is innocent or guilty, why Sandwich Goon is there at all. I don't understand it. I've just explained it. I thought I would be more understanding of it when I finished explaining it. It really feels like they wanted to do like a spy thriller. It reminds me of the Diamond Heist from the first season, which in hindsight is much better executed than this. But just on sheer confusion alone, it's a 4-mullet affair. It's a completely baffling experience to watch and come away going, I don't know. I mean, there was people on screen. There were diamonds. A squash got played. Mac wins at squash. But other than that, I cannot, for the life of me, fathom what they were trying to accomplish with this episode. 4 mullets.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're more generous than me. Because what I've realized about watching MacGyver is I enjoy if it's either a good episode, like, oh boy,
Ghost Ship was a good episode. The last one we just watched was a good episode.
No, you gave it a bad ranking.
You know, they all look better in comparison to this.
Like the assassin, right? The assassin or
Phoenix
Partners,
Under Siege.
You know, like those. Phoenix Under Siege. Those are good episodes. And I also enjoy if it's cheesy bad, like Trumbo's World or Eagles. I enjoy that. But then there's just boring or confusing. And to me, that's what this is. So my lowest score all time is an episode from last season called Dalton, Jack of Spies. And I don't remember what happens in there. I think Jack's in the sidecar. But I just was bored the whole time. And I was bored and confused here. So it would have normally come in at about a 4 or a 3. No, it would normally come in at a 5 or a 4, but I'm docking 3 points because you're using an actress who we just saw 3 episodes ago. Played a huge role. So on the 1 to 10 scale, I got 2. Very nice.
Wow.
All right, so you've got a 4. I've got a 2. Add it up, divide by 2, and that gives us...
This one's rated 3 out of 10 mullets.
Yeah. 7.5 on IMDb. That's what this one gets on IMDb.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Yeah.
I have a hard time being mad at it because, like, it feels like there was something they were going for. And the ones I really downgrade are ones where it just is awful or feels lazy. This felt like they were attempting something that didn't work.
Yeah, they were out of their element. They were trying to do, like, the usual suspects on MacGyver. And no. Stay in your lane. This is way too complicated and convoluted. And it just didn't have that urgency. I didn't have a lot of fear and intensity to it. And when that happens, I'm just like, ugh. And then again, yeah, using the same actress to me is just like a no-no. But I'll get with Miss Jackson on that in a minute.
You didn't ever get the vibe that Nikki was the thief? That that's what they were trying to imply?
No, because it must be colored by me knowing that Nikki becomes a regular on the show for a little while. So I knew that, so I knew she wouldn't turn out to be bad. Yeah. All right, well, let's crunch the numbers right now. Jeff, was MacGyver 2 for 2 or was he 3 for 3?
He was 2 for 2. We have the garden hose grappling hook and the fingerprinting dust, and he nails them both.
Okay. I did appreciate him getting out the Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, he did. And there's stuff in there that, like, they're not MacGyverisms if he's just using a computer hacker thing to, like, unlock a thing, or if she uses lockpicks. Like, I'm not going to explain lockpicks for the 80th time. It's got to be a really, like, he does something with something. And I think those are the only two in this episode.
How many times did anyone say MacGyver? This season's off to a pretty strong start. Let me give you the numbers. 21, 33, and then just 6, but then last week, 20. So, the general average lifetime is roughly around 16. How many times do you think someone said MacGyver here?
So for the first time in 68 episodes, it jumped out to me how many there were. It might have been because I watched it, I think, 3 or 2.5 or 3 times. But I'm going to go with 25. Did I get it?
I cannot believe who I work with. I don't know if this is work, but you don't recognize an actress who was just on a 2-parter a month ago.
She looked very different.
And then this time, you swear you've got it right. You've watched it, and you say 25, and it was 6.
What? She calls him Max like 30 times.
It was 6
there's
times.
It must like there's one time where she calls
only
him like
MacGyver
3
counts.
times in the space of 10 seconds.
Only MacGyver. Now, I will say I watched it in bed, kind of drifting off, but I think it was just 6 times. If you can prove me wrong, I got $1 for each time.
No,
I'm
not
wrong.
watching
you can
this
go
again.
Over 6.
No, I'm not. I'm not doing it.
No, it was just 6. It was 6.
Ugh.
I sit there with my phone, and each time it said, I tap another number into my phone, and I didn't have much to do here other than wait for those. So you were 19 off. I don't know if you've ever been more than 19 off. Going high, but yeah.
Boy, okay. Well, all right.
So
this is going to be in contender for the worst of the season, I bet.
What was the most make funable moment, though? Because
Danny getting hit by the truck.
It was just boring, but I don't... Okay. I've got a line that you didn't pull, but it really stuck out to me as being funny. Maybe I'll pull it here. It's what the valet says to...
she's a real banana boat.
What's she doing? That chick is a real banana boat. Pulls up in a Ferrari, leaves in a wagon.
I hate when she does that.
She's a real banana boat. What?
She pulled up in a Ferrari and went in a wagon. Dude, you are a valet. Why don't you stop her from stealing somebody's car?
A phrase that no one has ever said, pretty much. Run it through the garden. She's a real banana boat. But there's still something bothering me. Yeah, I got to finish the song. I got to stick it to Fiona Jackson here. Are you sorry, Miss Jackson? Ooh, what was the deal? Why'd you choose to cast the girls and guys that we saw before with our own eyes? Are you sorry, Miss Jackson? Ooh, what was the deal? Why'd you choose to cast the girls and guys that we saw before with our own eyes? Now hold on, Fiona. I think I need to phone a friend and ask when they've seen such a casting boner. Cause 4 weeks ago, this woman's name was Lisa, a Russian triple crosser who took a bullet and a piece of MacGyver's heart. But here comes the crazy part. Her name's now Nikki, a sassy American tart. What kind of short-term memories do you think we possess? Cause even deja vu operates with more finesse. Alyssa Davalos, girl, you deserve better. When you got the call from Miss Jackson, you should have never let her talk you into being a new character with the same face in the same place with the same face. You should have gave chase to a safe space. Are you sorry, Miss Jackson? Ooh, what was the deal? Why'd you choose to cast the girls and guys that we saw before with our own eyes? Are you sorry, Miss Jackson? Ooh, what was the deal? All right, I've said my piece. Sorry to just go off like that on it, Jeff.
You're getting better at those.
Sometimes it is amazing, though, to realize what I'm doing with my life is watching MacGyver and looking up who was the casting director for that episode and then writing a rap parody song about her. It's pretty amazing when you think about that. and putting it on the internet. And thank you out there for listening. We hope we've entertained you. And you know what? Let's thank our Patreon patrons right now. I'll start off with Mia in Canberra, Australia, who is overdue to chime in and tell us how she's doing. But thank you, Mia, for your support.
Bo in Fort Myers, Florida, a trained CNC machinist who reminds us that making people laugh and smile goes a long way.
Claire in New Jersey asked this question. How can MacGyver defuse bombs with paper clips, but he can't even keep a girlfriend alive longer than 2 episodes? Go to deadfictionalgirlfriendsreport.com for the answer to that and more.
Caesar from Parts Unknown. Hail, Caesar!
Thank you to Christian in Norway. Christian, we're due to check in with you on our monthly hangout soon. Hope you can make it.
Vivian in Taiwan, who wants to remind everyone that there is fantastic MacGyver fanfiction online at MacGyver Camelverse on fanfiction.net.
Hey, we're always looking for new friends, people, so say hi to us on social media. Give us a review if you like. We'd appreciate it. But above all else, keep coming back because we're going to keep making fun of MacGyver. So for Jeff, I'm Sam. Thank you again, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Or stout, just tell me once again who's fat.
That chick is a real banana boat. Pulls up in a Ferrari, leaves in a wagon.
I hate when she does that.